Yeah, just packed up in the old office. So yeah, just wanted to do a little recap on last week. Like last week we had a huge week in Australia. It was actually like bigger than what I thought. It was cool. Back in New Zealand now, back in the summer. Fuck, winter was freezing, man. But yeah, last week was good. Got to Australia like on the Thursday night. Girlfriend came over from NZ, spent like 3 days just chilling in Brizzy, was super good. And then Sunday morning, this is super cool. We've been putting out information stuff for the last 3 to 4 years, just helping young builders how they can make more money on jobs. So naturally, over time, now as we have probably 7,000 followers in Australia, 15 on NZ, we're always getting asked just around more stuff. And credit to Jamie and Ben in Australia, they had put together some information and put together like a 1 day course. We started advertising a PDF online and we sold out like a 1 day course to 13 builders that had come in. So Monday we flew to Sydney, or Sunday night we flew to Sydney, prepped the course for the afternoon at the Hilton with the boys. And then Monday we had 13 builders turn up in a room for 9 hours, and it was good. We taught them everything just on small stuff. It was more around like sales and negotiation, how to deal with clients when they're pushing back on price, where you can do some value management, like drop the pricing in certain aspects of the job. And then we priced a full 60 square meter dwelling for them to show how much detail we go into, where they could save on costs, where they need to beef up their costs. And just as a builder, it's more just how do you fill your pipeline? How do you make sure you're making money on every job? Because the worst feeling is robbing Peter to pay Paul. So you're constantly looking at signing up the next project in order to fund the last project because you've underpriced it. That's the bit that's the killer for most businesses. So ensuring that you can make sure that you're making enough money on every single job so when you get out of it, there's profit left. You're not in the negative, and then you're going to sign up a new job to pay for that job. Now you can only do that for so long before it catches up with you, and then you've got to find that there's no funds left. So Monday night in Sydney was it was so hot, man. Got no sleep. It was like 37 degrees. We stayed at a mate's place with no aircon. I got no sleep. I was absolutely shattered. Woke up Tuesday and we had a video for a guy, Sully. Shout out Sully, Richard Sullivan. We did a podcast with Rion Patterson in New Zealand. This was his ex-business partner from London, like ages ago. So it was super cool to go and meet him. He's running like in Killarney Heights, Killarney Heights in Sydney. He's running a team of 20 on a charge up model. He's been doing that for the last 20 years, doing super well, man. So it was cool to go see him, look at a new job, demolition job that they are starting. So we're discussing the scope of works with him, how everything was working, did an on-site podcast. Was cool to meet some of his guys as well. Then Sunday midday, we flew to Melbourne. I flew to the Gold Coast. Went to the airport, chatted with the boys at the airport, did some work there. Gold Coast, we had 2 visits that day. So we did one with a young builder, Cam, who we've been doing a lot of work for. He had actually lost money on this carport. He just lost heaps of time in structural steel. So that was the key point on that project, just ensuring that when you get into fiddly stuff, that's where you can up your margins on the structural steel stuff. Additional strapping, working at heights. The highest point was like 4.2 meters off the ground, and also bolting, drilling bolt holes in the steel as well. So that was a huge thing for him. Went and saw him. That was cool. And then we went and caught up with our legend Chris from SimCorp. He got us on the best job in the GC, right in downtown Surfers, looking over the city. We reshot like a piss take of the Hilton hotel, which caught on fire. Did that on like the third story of these duplex apartments that were going for like 3.5 mil each. The owner's going to sell, so that was cool. Learned heaps with him, and he's a G, bro. He lost everything during COVID. Now he's rebuilding the business back up. This guy's in his 40s, so it was super cool to go spend time with him, talk about his projects, and he's on the grind to build it all back. So that was good. That was Wednesday. Thursday morning, we literally went, saw another guy down south, Kiwi builder, Kiwi building crew, caught up with Kanos. He's the biggest fucking builder I've ever seen. He's his joiner. But we caught up with the main guy. So that was cool to go through him. He's building a brand new spec home. He's got work between Brizzy and the Gold Coast. And yeah, like it looks like that client as well as the GC guy. Both those clients are buying their joinery packs and their windows from China to save a heap of money. Obviously, there's a bit more time in the labor, learning Mandarin, reading plans that don't really make sense, but saving a shitload of money by ordering this stuff from China. And the lead times aren't as bad as what everyone thinks. So, yeah, that took us to midday, and then we headed up to Brizzy, chilled there for the afternoon, and then Friday morning we had one more with a guy who's been using us since day one. He was cool, renovation builder, real funny fucker. A little bit stressed on camera, but after that he was awesome. Once he kind of loosened up, like 20 minutes into the on-site podcast, that was absolutely ripper. So Yeah, man, Friday was good, and yeah, we caught up with one other builder in Gold Coast on the Thursday afternoon. Sorry, he was doing small homes, niche down from custom home building right into 60 square meter dwelling. So that's cool. And then yeah, Friday we flew back to NZ late, like 6 p.m. on Solomon Air. Wouldn't recommend it, but it was the cheapest flight at the time. And then got back to NZ at 1 o'clock, slept for the whole weekend, and now we're back into it. So 4 podcasts at the end of this week. But yeah, the Aussie trip was good, man. Aussie's picking up momentum. I've said since day one, Australia is going to be bigger than New Zealand, and then the UK is going to be bigger than Aussie and NZ. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, shout out if you saw us on our journeys in Australia, and going to keep making these videos because they're fun. And also add in Friday afternoon, we went and saw the international lawyer at PwC just around how we're going to evolve moving into a tech business and set up international company structure to, look at logical tax purposes. So yeah, it's all looking good. Lots going on. Definitely hardest bit is keeping up with the team. The team's motivated. They want to make more. And as that happens, I've got to learn to give away more. So a little bit hard, but working through that. Anyway, we'll do a recap on this week in NZ. So hope you enjoyed. Shout out.